Hello and welcome back everyone to this amazing another podcast with us. And today we have with us Henry. Hi Henry, how are you?
Hello everyone. Doing fine.
It's nice to have you on the podcast, Henry. So we would love to start with your introduction, how you got started, as you have a lot of experience, nearly 25 plus years of experience in tech domain. That's like a lot, right? And how your journey looks like. We would love to know in a brief.
Well, I started, as you said, working on the software industry. Wow, that was a long time ago, more than 25 years now. And I think I always wanted to be a developer. I tried some other things before, but being a software developer, finally, I think, was right for me. So, so yeah, it's been a long time. I really like it and I really enjoy it, actually. Even though some people think that AI will replace me, but I'm here anyways, even after 25 years. So yeah, it's nice for me. I really like it, and I think there's a lot to be done actually in the software industry. So yeah, here I am.
Nice, that's really amazing to know, Henry. As you've spent over 25 years in software development, Henry, being working as a software architect across multiple organizations and then senior developer, currently serving as a senior developer at Pentagonian Tech and also representing Hedera as Hedera developer ambassador for Argentina. That's really amazing. And my question is, what are the biggest technology shifts you have witnessed that completely changed the industry from past 25 years?
Yes, of course. We need to talk about AI. That's a big shift recently. It's affecting everyone, not just developers. It's affecting really everyone. But that's a big one. And I think people need to be aware that AI is, at the end of the day, is just another tool. We basically need to understand how to use it, how to use it effectively also, not just use it because it's a buzzword or something like that. We need to really learn how to use it. That's a big change because it forces developers to really go beyond what they are used to do, which is just, talk with the computer every day or do some coding. Now developers need to be more social. Actually, they need to talk more. They need to interact more with people. That's something I tell students nowadays, that they need to really go beyond their comfort zone and try to reach out. So that's one of the major shifts. And I think another one that it's very important to understand is that people, especially developers, need to understand that they need to think more about the problems and how to solve them, and later think about the technology itself. And that's something they need to really understand. And that's something that has been happening for a long time, even before AI. Developers need to understand, and in reality, anyone working in the technology sector, they need to understand that first is very important to understand what's the problem that people are having. And then you select what's the best technology to solve that problem. That's a big shift because at the very beginning, in the early days, technology was just about understanding the technology, the computer, the hardware, the software, whatever you've been taught at university. But I think in the recent years, we are understanding that it's better sometimes to just understand the problems that companies have, because sometimes some problems can just be solved by talking. Maybe environment or another, but sometimes it's just about talking and then understanding what's going on. So that's what the two things I can tell you.
That's being rightly said, Henry. You worked across multiple companies in various domains. So, which role taught you the most and why?
Yes, I think the biggest and most like influential roles that I did in the past is being a technical lead, because that gets me in touch with a lot of developers, like talking with them every day and trying to understand what they need in their jobs. And it's not just about technology. They are also humans at the end of the day, and they also have, special needs like understanding what's going on and helping them achieve their goals, not just their day-to-day goals, but also their professional goals, like what they want in their careers. Helping them achieving that also made me realize the things I want, the things I need, and also how can I help even more people, not just developers in my team, but also people outside the company I work for. It could be many people, like students I meet at different events that I go. So I think that's a very important role that I actually like to do. I enjoy doing that because then the challenge is not just technical, it's also how we can grow together as human beings, really working together in a team, not just a company, in a team, actually.
Yeah, definitely, Henry, because team is the most valuable asset that a company can have, and team is the one
Yeah.
which can either make or break a company and an organization. So that being amazing, Henry, that you shared your experience with us. Now, moving forward, Henry, when you look back at your early career, what mistakes did you make that ultimately helped you grow?
Well, of course, I did a lot of mistakes. We are humans after all.
Yeah.
Yes, but I think one of the biggest mistakes I did is not actually talking more. I wish I actually started talking to a lot of people and even people outside of my industry. I think that's the biggest mistake I did. In the early days, I only tried to talk with other developers, but I think I I learned a lot from different people from different industries. So that's one thing I think I got wrong from the start. And I encourage people to talk with really anyone from any industry. I mean, a good advice can come from anywhere, really. So that's one of the things I think I can do better if I look back, in the past. And the other thing is that I need to worry maybe more about myself as a human being, like maybe not work too much. Sometimes, especially in the early days in our careers, we think that we just need to work and work and work every day, every hour without stopping because when we are young we think we have all the energy of the world but you need to take care of yourself also really. So I wish I had taken more care of myself in the early days. That's the things I can tell you.
Yeah, totally. Talking with others and taking care of ourselves is essential, Henry, if we want to grow in the longer run.
Yeah.
So, Henry, what separates good software from software that survives for decades? Because you worked with various organizations and different softwares and different products, and nowadays with the advent of AI, a lot of people have the potential to build apps from these no-code and low-code tools. So, would you mind sharing your perspective on this aspect?
Of course, I think the biggest feature that I've noticed in software that I can say that can be used for years or even decades is the documentation. And by that, I mean sometimes we write code, but then we forget to write instructions or guides or operation manuals on how to use it. And that's really, really very important. Sometimes we do some software and then we come back after a year or maybe even more and we no longer understand what the code does. I mean, it happens very often with developers. Sometimes the code is just a week old and you already forgot what it does. So I strongly recommend people to really document what they are doing. And this involves both technical and functional documentation. Meaning, yes, you can write what the code does, like reading this file and writing this file, but you also need to document. why you did that in the first place. It was because maybe the company wanted to generate a special kind of report because I don't know, the marketing team wanted that or something. At least one idea. We usually call them the functional requirements, but I think we all need to get together and also do that as a team. I know developers are going to say that we're supposed to only write code, but nowadays I think it's even easier for developers to also write documentation. So I think that's very important. Every software that I used that was running for years or decades, I can tell you for sure it was very well documented, really, for sure, really. And that also means on maybe even what design patterns were used to create the software, like why we use microservice, why we're using this protocol to communicate between two components. All those things really matter, really, 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 really. So I really encourage people to do that, to document everything they can, really, and to put, of course, a lot of comments inside the source code. Yes, of course. Yes,
Amazing.
I like to read a lot of comments.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would make the code pretty understandable, maintainable, and documentation is really important. So that we take as an insight and takeaway from this part of the conversation. So moving forward, Henry, many people fear
Yes.
AI will replace developers, the like trending question, or you can say a lot of people are afraid, and there are like a debate going with the industry. Some people are supporting this, and some people are against it. So what's your perspective on this?
Well, again, AI is just a tool, really, at the end of the day. And I think people just need to learn it as another tool we already had during the past. Maybe it's a special tool because it looks very nice, pretty. It looks like it's gonna replace every developer, and not just developers, maybe designers, accountants, and many other roles. But again, it's just a tool, and you need to remember whatever industry you're working on, AI can only do a little part of your job, really. For example, for developers, we do coding, yes. We write a lot of programming code and everything like that, but we do more than that, really. We also, like I said before, we also write documentation. We also talk with users, trying to understand their needs and turn those needs into software. We also sometimes be the first ones to test the software. We also do a lot of research, actually, because technology in general changes every day. That's something that has been happening for a long time. So we need to read a lot of news, read a lot of books, watch a lot of tutorials. So we also do that. And I don't think AI can actually understand all that information that it's coming. I know AI can process a lot of information, but AI cannot like filter what's really important from all that big chunk of information we're receiving every day. So we are probably converting ourselves or turning ourselves into like curators of the information. Like, we need to be very good filters now. In my early days, I remember we didn't even have internet to learn something new. We had to read a lot of books in the library to actually going physically to a library to read a book. And nowadays, young people just get everything from the internet, and maybe they are getting too much. They need to actually learn what's really important from the big wave of information they are receiving. And I think AI can also help on that to actually process and make summaries of all the information. But still, you need a human behind the wheel to actually, decide to go this way or go the other way, really. So I think it's just a tool at the end of the day. We will always need humans. And even if AI goes a long way from now and gets way more better, then that just means that then we can, as humans, start doing other things. Like, I don't know, I'm gonna go crazy here, but let's build starships to go to another planets or something
Wow.
like that. So I'm a big fan of sci-fi, as you can tell. And I actually wish we someday have AI smart enough to do our jobs. I actually want that day to come, so then I can do other things, like I said, maybe build starships. I don't know, something else.
Yeah, that's pretty cool idea, Henry. Building starships. I'm also a huge fan of Star Wars and Star Trek and all the pretty cool movies that are out there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and those yeah, and the
You are Turkey also? You are Turkey?
yeah. Yeah. So just wanted to share the kind of aspect that you touched is like those good old days when people used to refer books and articles to gain knowledge, and nowadays there's like a lot of noise, a lot of information that creates a lot of confusion. So yeah, with the advent of technology, we got the accessibility, but still with accessibility we got isolation, we got noise, we got a distraction. Previously, it was not the thing. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
the part of innovation and evolution, right? So moving forward, Henry, let's touch a little bit about community. You've hosted workshops, meetups, mentoring sessions, and technical talks. So why is community building
Yes.
important for innovation?
It is important because we as human beings need to actually grow together and also learn together. I mean, there are a lot of online courses, of course, online. Yes, you can get any book or any video you want from the internet. Yes, but having a human actually by your side, telling you or suggesting you what to read or what to focus on at the very beginning, especially, it helps a lot because information, just by the sake of information, we already have that. We are entering a world where everybody has the information, but what we actually need right now is like authenticity. We need human touch on everything we do.
Moving forward, Henry, we would love to know how you got to know about DevRel University and what you're building in DevRel University, and so far what you got to learn from different mentors that we have during the program.
Sure. I don't remember exactly how I got to the sessions, but since I am in contact with many different ambassadors from around the world, I think one of them maybe reposted the announcement, and I think that that's probably the way I got in touch with them. I have to say that I heard from DevRel Uni from like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I always wanted to participate, but never got the chance. But looks like this year finally I was able to. I always knew about it when the applications were closed, but this time I finally got it on time, and so I applied, and happily to say that we both got accepted actually.
Yeah,
So we participated on those
congratulations
sessions.
to us.
They were fantastic. Yeah, they were fantastic. Really amazing sessions. Really, really. I was not aware they were so wonderful. Really, all the mentors we had, all the lessons we received were fantastic. And I think the biggest lesson I got from DevRel Uni this year is that we need to care more about people that are not developers or not from the software industry. We need to care more about them because typically in the software or IT industry, we sometimes just focus on developers. But I think we need to open that, we need to open the space for everybody really to participate, especially nowadays in the age of AI, where anybody can start at least creating some basic programs. I'm not going to say again they will replace developers, but I think we can safely say that more and more people, regardless of their professional background, can participate on hackathons. maybe we are going to have to even change the word and not call them hackathons anymore, because that sounds very techy, you know. I think we need to find another word
Yeah,
to really invite more people. Maybe, I don't know what other word we can use. I don't know, ideathon, maybe, I don't
let's
know,
bring some
or
sci-fi
something that
sci-fi
can,
stuff, sci-fi word over here
yeah,
as well.
maybe. And I think we really need to involve anyone now. I think humanity as a whole is facing biggest issues these days. So I think we all need to understand technology somehow and join forces between industries, professions, careers, really, to try to solve them. So I think we need the help of everyone, actually, to really involve everyone now, really, in all the events we do. Really, I hope we can achieve that. Really.
Yeah, we'll surely achieve them, Henry, later or sooner. So, Henry, as a mentor, what's the most valuable advice you repeatedly give young engineers?
I think the biggest advice that I constantly repeat to the John developers is that they need to really understand the problem first. We developers, and I include myself, we developers like to get a new technology and play with it, and we like to immediately build or code something, you know. And of course, I mean, we like to do that. I like to do that. I always love to learn about a new technology and immediately try to see what it can do. And then we build something, and then we show it to the rest of the world. Like, look, I did this, and it works like this, and we make videos and posts on LinkedIn or whatever. But we actually need to start one step back, which is, okay, what are the problems of the world? And then what technologies can help, solve those problems. I really think we all need to start at the very basic level.
Yeah,
It would be a better world if we use all that energy that developers have nowadays and all the AI tools they have. If they can use all that the energy and tools to try to solve a lot of problems we have today,
yeah,
it would be amazing.
yeah,
We need technology for people that it's becoming older,
yeah,
for people that have disabilities, for people that have learning abilities that they face, issues every day. Or we need to solve the problems with people that still don't have internet access, for example. We still have those problems, actually.
yeah, we
And
have.
I hope if anybody is listening that works on the technology or IT industry in general, I mean, that they understand that we still need to solve them. And if somebody wants to solve those problems, please reach out to me. I also wish to solve those problems. And so let's see what happens if we join forces.
Yeah, definitely, Henry. Everyone, if you're watching, then in the description you can find the social handles of Henry, where you can connect with him, and you both can share all the problems. And moving forward with another question, Henry. So, what skills should student learn today to stay relevant in an AI world?
Of course, they need to be curious. They need to learn how to adapt and change quickly from one technology to the other. And I know what you're thinking. You're gonna say, but no university teaches you that. And yeah, I mean, usually universities or schools follow like a guide or
Yeah,
pattern or syllabus of predefined topics. But I know that's changing. I think educators nowadays are understanding that they need to teach different abilities to people. So I have hope that that will change even more in the future. So people that are learning any technology at all, please understand that technology, again, is a tool. I mean, maybe you are going to learn today this technology, this programming language, this cloud service or product or whatever. But tomorrow you're gonna learn another, and when you get hired, probably you're gonna work with another technology that you have never seen before in the university, and you're gonna have to learn how to adapt, how to, learn quickly. That's what I usually tell people these
Definitely.
days, that they need to learn as fast as they can, and for that you need to have an open mind. Really, you need to be very open to learn, and also to accept that you don't understand something, and then you need to learn it. That's really what's happening today. We
Yeah.
just need to learn faster, find a way to do that faster, really.
Yeah, change and adaptability and resilience and being curious is really important. So if you're a student, so just try to be curious, try to
It
be
is.
adaptable, and try to learn, upskill the things, then you'd be stay relevant in an AI world. So moving forward, Henry, what are the biggest? This is the last but not the least question that's really important for most of our discussion. So what's the biggest lesson from 25 years in technology, Henry, that you would like to share? Any three advices or three mistakes from your life that will help our audience to implement in their life, learning
Sure,
from them.
of course. I've worked many years in technology, and I think the biggest advice is technology is not the most important thing. I think people is the most important thing. So that's lesson number one. Lesson number two would be always question everything. Question your mentors, your teachers, question why you're learning something and not the other thing. You really need to question everything. You need to ask a lot of questions, really. Sometimes people will assume you know, or they will assume they are giving you the best tool for the problem, but you really need to question. Even if something is already working fine and good, you still need to question, can we do it better? So that's going to be very important in the future, I think, because in a world where anybody can learn anything, with it, or do it with AI or whatever, maybe the best people are going to be the ones that can do it. I don't know, cheaper, faster, or with less resources. Yeah, something like that. And the third one would be prepare for anything, like be open minded, and remember that really everything is a change. And even because some people today, they think that their generation is the one that has the issue or the problem, but just look at the history of humanity. You will see that every generation had a problem, really. And it's not that, oh, now this world is like this and there's nothing else to do. But no, 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 please don't give up. We all had our issues 10 or 20 years before, or even 30, 40, 50, whatever. There were always problems and issues in the world. And here we are. We still can make it together as humans, as humanity,
Definitely.
together. So that's what I would say, really. Maybe you were hoping to hear, oh, this is the greatest technology and you need to learn this and that, but it's not like that, really. Every day you can learn something new. So it's not about a specific tool or technology that you need to learn. I mean, there are many, many, many things to do and learn, actually.
Wow. That's being very beautifully covered, Henry. Thank you so much for sharing all the insights with us and for coming on the show. It's been lovely to hear you, your
Sure.
experience, your journey, and all the things that you've shared with us. It would be really helpful for all the audience. And thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me.